Pilate, a project joining forces from the Island Health College in Hobart, Tasmania and the Australian Pilates Method Association, made possible by the Australian Flexible Learning Framework e-Learning Innovations funding. Island Health College, a small blue building on the corner of Argyle and Lefroy Street in North Hobart, Tasmania. A very small organisation, the administration made up of 3 people working part-time. The majority of the training is done classroom-based with hands-on practical tutorials, training in massage and reflexology. Our underpinning knowledge that goes with this for anatomy and physiology is also delivered predominantly in the classroom. Through the funding made possible by the Australian Flexible Learning Framework, the Australian Pilates Method Association was able to source some training that we were offering in anatomy and physiology to go as underpinning knowledge underneath their instructor qualifications. There's a lot that goes to becoming a health and fitness instructor, and you really need to understand how the body works. But Island Health College is in Hobart, Tasmania. The Australian Pilates Method Association delivers training in every state in Australia. So how is it possible for Island Health College to be a provider of training for underpinning knowledge for the Australian Pilates Method Association qualifications? Island Health College web presence, due to the funding available for this project, now has a student login. When you sign in to the student login, it will take you to our new online learning environment. Moodle based, this online learning environment contains most of the underpinning knowledge that goes beneath the massage and reflexology qualifications. We've been able to work with the members of the Australian Pilates Method Association to tailor the training that we already offer to be specific to what is needed for underpinning knowledge for Pilates instructing. This project focused predominantly on Anatomy and Physiology 1A. If you go into this unit and view it as a student, you'll see crucial information about what is contained in the unit, and most of this information would be given to the students if they're in. It gives an overview of what will be included each week and what the students are required to contribute and what will form part of their assessment. Then, week by week, resource notes, forum discussion boards and quizzes are open for the learning for that particular subject. If you go into the forums and have a look, this is our point of difference, and one of the things that we really are proud of with our online learning and proud of the development that's happened through this project. The tutor will post a question a couple of times during the week, prompting responses from the students. And the students respond to that question, but they're also responding to each other, and the tutor is responding to them. So really, this mimics a classroom discussion situation and opens up all sorts of other possible discussion points and things that some of the students may not have thought of by themselves. And anybody who's been a face-to-face trainer would understand that sometimes classroom discussion leads to much extended learning. So we wanted to be able to replicate this and not lose this point when we were doing online learning. We didn't want it to be a static environment where people who lead busy lives would get lost by just working through workbooks or by static online resources. So by having forum discussion as part of their assessment as well, this requires the students to participate in the forum discussion and allows the tutor to pick up where things might either be going wrong or might be going very right and leading off into another area of discussion. Another point that we strongly emphasise is our live classroom session every week. We've been trialling lots of different mediums for our live classroom, but we've decided through this project to settle on Vet Virtual. It provides us with most of the resources that we need, and it's free, and it's also good to be working with people who understand where we're coming from training in the vet sector. So what are some of the problems that we've encountered? Okay, so we did run into a bit of a problem with Island Health College at the beginning, losing contact with our main local point of contact with a. We also had a bit of a problem with our internet connection. I, as the project manager, was living in a rural location, had just moved there at the beginning of this project, and I needed a really good internet connection because I was going to be working from home doing the majority of the work on this. So it opened our eyes to some of the possible problems that might come up for our learners, which was great. The experience of having to get a suitable internet connection to a rural location really helped to make us aware of what some of our students living in rural and remote locations might encounter. So were these problems resolved? Yes, they were. You just heard about our rural location, the APMA contact. We got used to dealing with the person who lived locally. It just meant that we had to expand our horizons further and make contact with some of the members that lived on the mainland. The internet connection was fixed living in the rural location, but we did have to wait. But again, this helped us to understand where some of our students might be coming from. So while it may seem that we don't have a significant output from this project, we do have a very significant outcome. It has meant that Island Health College, the small little building on the corner of Argyle and Lefroy Street in North Hobart in tiny little Tasmania, is now open up to a world of possibilities of training through Australia. And who knows? We're dragging this map along. We could actually have a presence in a lot of these other places you see dotted all over our world. We have been contacted by some people who would like us to work with them to deliver another qualification. That qualification is in homeopathy. And the group of people who's contacted us did most of their training in England, and they would like to now deliver training for us. So an absolute world of opportunity has opened up for Island Health College and the APMA. We're no longer just a tiny little blue building on the corner of Argyle and Lefroy Street in North Hobart. By joining forces and delivering training all over Australia, it's opened us both to a world of possibilities. It means that training in natural therapies and niche markets is no longer restricted if you don't have an organisation that's in your local neighbourhood that's delivering it. A lot of what we train on site can be delivered online, and through facilitated learning and joining forces with other organisations throughout Australia and throughout the world, Island Health College would like to be on their way to being leaders in this way of training. We would very much to acknowledge the assistance from the Australian Flexible Learning Framework and to the local support given to us by those people working for the Flexible Learning Framework in Hobart, Tasmania. We really couldn't have done it without you, and we couldn't have done it without the financial assistance, but as well as you believing in us that this small little building could open up so much possibility. Thank you.